Hello everyone, Victor Fernandez here. Hope you're all having a great day and hopefully a warmer one than I'm having today right now. I'm coming to you live from the Vicnasium. Yes, my gym does have a name and it's a very cold Vicnasium at that today, but no excuses, no shortcuts, got to get the lift in, got to get the workout in today. But before I do that, I want to share with you why I'm in here, whether it's hot, cold, or in any gym for that matter, each and every day. And it's actually very, very simple. It's three simple words: quality of life. Look, we all have our own individual wants and needs. We all have our own unique goals. Our fitness levels are different. Our levels of experience with health and fitness are different. But we all share one common thread, one common goal, if you will, and that's quality of life, to be able to do now what we did in our younger days. I wrote a piece on Facebook just the other day talking about how we want to do in our 40s what we were able to do in our 30s and do just as well. We want to do in our 50s what we did in our 40s and just as well. We want to do in our 60s and so on down the line. Even as we get older, we want to maintain that quality of life that allows us to do those things that keep us young, keep us feeling young. I'll give you an example. I started playing hockey in my late 30s when I was at my heaviest. And I played into my 40s before we moved. I played about 10, 12 years before we moved down here, and unfortunately don't have a nice rink nearby to play. But I played for about a dozen years. And in the beginning, one period was way too much for me. I was huffing and puffing. I was spent because I was so out of shape. And by the time I was done playing, and I was in the best, I was in great shape at that point, I could play 2 games back to back and be ready for a third. That's the quality of shape that I was in, the quality of life I was enjoying. Now that we're moving to North Carolina here in June, where we're living, has a rink in town, and I want to get back into playing hockey again. I'm 50 years old. I've known I have plenty of friends of mine who've played into their 50s, their 60s, even pushing 70, because they maintain a strong quality of life. And that's what I want. So when I set foot back on the ice at 50, 51 years old, I want to get back to where I was at my healthiest when I was in my 40s playing hockey, and playing, at least for me, was a high level of hockey. My friends out there who played with me might laugh and think otherwise. But I want to get back to where I was. So that's why I'm in here every day. That's why I'm freezing my butt off, right now in here getting a workout in. Because I know all the work I can do in here, every little bit of work I can do in here, all the work I do in the kitchen, is going to give me that opportunity to really maintain that level of life, not just quantity, not just to be able to live for another 50 years, but have it be the greatest 50 years, I can make it. And for me, and let's face it, was there a time, and not too long ago, when getting in here meant, getting big and strong and getting big muscles and being able to, suns out, guns out and all that with the tank tops and whatnot? Yes. That was a goal of mine. What it was at some point in time was my goal to get all ripped to shreds and whatnot. Sure, I'm sure we've all had that thought in mind at some point in time or another. But now now that I've hit 50, I think I've come to the realization that it isn't about those particular things. Yeah, it would be great to look all cut like you see these Instagram influencers out there that look like they've got bowling balls all up in their shirts and whatnot, and there isn't an ounce of fat on them. Sure, I would love to be big and huge like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that. But again, would that be a nice bonus? Of course. Is that an absolute for me? Absolutely not. For me, I look at it now. I train with a lot of clients. I know I've trained clients from 14 to 83, but a lot of my clients tend to be in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And one thing we always talk about, and a lot of these clients have come from doing strictly cardio, where they're staying thin, but they're not necessarily fit. So when we start working together, we really emphasize the need for strength training. It doesn't have to be super heavy. I'm not going to throw them in the barbells back here or anything like that. But I do have some that can, but not necessarily for everyone. But the goal is to be able to develop that lean muscle mass and really strengthen our bones. We talk a lot about, quality of life comes from to feel strong about ourselves, to feel stable and balanced, to be able to go in for walks and feeling comfortable on our feet, being able to go for jogs, chasing our kids around, chasing grandkids around. We want to be able to do that without feeling like a train wreck by the time we're done. I know when I was at my heaviest playing hockey on a Sunday night, I dreaded Monday morning because it literally felt like I got hit by a Mack truck trying to simply get out of bed. So whereas later on when I was at my healthiest, getting out of bed wasn't an issue. I could get up, do what I needed to do, again, have a productive day, and be able to, get done what I need to get done without feeling like I'm a complete, an utter wreck. So, for my clients who are older, 50s, 60s, and 70s, that's their goal as well. They talk about simple things, just being able to go for long walks with their spouse, go for a run, go for bike rides, go hiking, being able to just get on the floor with their grandkids and be able to get back up without feeling like everything's snap, crackle, and popping. It doesn't seem like much, but as you get older, that's a big deal. You want to feel healthy. You want to feel alive. You want to feel like there's things you can do, that you can continue doing the things that you did when you were younger. Now, this particular message might be geared more towards people my age and older, 50s and on up, but really that applies to anyone. I mean, think about it. Are you at your healthiest now, or were you at your healthiest when you were younger? For me, it's the latter. I'm much healthier and much more fit now at 50 years old and even in my 40s than I was in my 20s and 30s. I mean, I really didn't start this journey until I was 37, 38 years old. So my quality of life days, my better quality of life days are now and ahead of me as opposed to behind me. So think about that for a second. So even if you're not 50, even if you're nowhere near 50, think about that for a second. Assess your health and fitness level right now, however old you are, and then project to the future. Because if you don't feel like you're at your healthiest and fittest now at 25, 30, 35, even 40, imagine what it's going to feel like when you get into your 50s, get into your 60s, and so on. When bone density starts becoming an issue, when balance starts becoming an issue, when you start to lose overall lean muscle mass, when you start to lose overall strength. What's going to happen then? How are you going to feel then? What kind of quality of life are you looking at that point in time? So think about that. I know for me, I'm going to continue doing everything I can to make sure that my 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and right on down the line, because I plan to live till triple digits. Will I? I guess that remains to be seen. But I'm going to do everything in my power to make that happen. And not just live, to exist. Not just to be alive, but to feel alive, to thrive. Personally, professionally, socially, all of it. So I'm going to do everything in my power to make that happen. Which means now, I've got a barbell with my name on it. Take care, folks. I'll catch you next time.